Yes, it's 8:15. I apologize about the late start. It's the Dark Mark Show. Josie Cat is my co-host. She's right next to me. You want to say hello to the Dark Minions?
Hello, Dark Minions.
And I had a whole bit about how I was in the studio with beautiful women, and then Elizabeth had to bring her boyfriend. But we're here.
We have a bonus guest.
We have a bonus guest. He's apparently a beautiful man.
I would have him.
See, now you made a mistake bringing him in here. We have the beautiful, everybody knows, Bree Walker. Bree Walker, legendary anchor woman, actress. Somebody actually said that you were the inspiration behind Christina Applegate's character in Anchorman.
I have been told on good authority that that's true. I have not collected any residuals.
Oh, and Bree Walker is here. Next to Bree Walker, you're just meeting her. We had to rush in, and I apologize. These people were on time, and that's horrible.
It's okay. It's my fault. I have a suspended driver's license. Therefore, Dark Mark had to pick me up.
I did have to. Yes,
the darker side of Dark Mark.
Well, let's face it. With your driving record,
he enjoyed it. Trust me.
Oh, I did. Well, trust me. With your driving record, of course, I'm going to pick you up. But as of late, well, we had Elizabeth.
Two of us.
Elizabeth, I didn't want to talk about it, but Elizabeth Aston's here. Beautiful singer, actress. She's been here before. Bree, you know Kim Fowley.
Yes.
This is one of his proteges right here, Elizabeth Aston.
Wow. It's such a small world, L.A.
Yeah. We were just talking about she worked the same station with Emery, a whole thing. And
I know, that's so crazy. It was my first radio station job in Kansas City.
And Elizabeth's lucky boyfriend, the luckiest man in the world.
Yeah,
Greg, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, Greg, right?
Yes.
Greg Wayne, okay. What does Greg Wayne do? I have no idea, because I did a lot of research. Josie will tell you I do a lot of research.
He does a lot, but you're not a chick.
A lot of research.
Women, a lot.
I'm doing the creative design for Elizabeth's show.
Oh, okay.
And in general, he's a production.
Okay, well, now, because nobody tells me anything. It's just like, hey, here's my boyfriend, and I'm like, okay, I'll run the other way. That's kind of the way it goes. Anyway, so we got to
Especially when you're that tall.
You need a pit bull, Mark.
I really do need a pit bull, and your pit bull is here.
Everybody needs a pit bull.
Right. Bree Walker's here, and as I said, if you must know who she is. She was the #1 anchor woman in L.A., New York, and San Diego. And she's been in Carnival. She's been featured in Nip Tuck. But a lot of people don't know she was a rock DJ in New York when the punk scene broke. Is that correct?
That is true. I interviewed the Dead Boys on the steps of CBGB's.
I always open up my shows with Sonic Reducer. I've been doing that for 20 years.
That was my first job in TV news after transitioning from radio, and I was on the steps of CBGB's opening. They were opening. Dead Boys were opening for some other bigger act. And so just to kind of launch me into the flail and the fire, WCBS, KCBS, all of that CBS team just sent me out to do this interview. And I said, so what's with this drugs and violence? And he said, ain't no violence, lady.
So how did you feel about the station sending you out to interview a punk band? Were you happy about it?
Yes. Like, I can't get enough.
How does it go? Wait, do that one more time. How does that go?
That's a lot of talent right there. And you interviewed Sid Vicious too, right?
Yes.
How coherent was that?
Very, actually.
He's very well spoken.
He kind of went, okay.
So when you have somebody like that with your journalistic training, do you think it helps or hurts? Like, did you know
hurts.
how? Yeah.
It hurts. You don't want to be journalistic with them because, they don't want to actually say too much or too little. It's like, you can tell them sort of tapping around the edges of, And I want to go dark and deep fast.
Sure.
With everything.
Absolutely. So was this before the Nancy incident, after the Nancy incident, when you interviewed him?
Before,
okay.
Was this when they were in San Francisco?
It was before that.
New York.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
It was New York.
Okay.
It was early CBGB's.
Max's
so because us young punks, we don't really know. I don't know. Greg seems a little older than us, but what was it like being in that? I mean, could you tell something was happening, or did you think it was just a bunch of?
Yeah, I really kind of had wished that I was not transitioning out of radio into TV at that time. But eventually, my TV career brought me back to New York after being in radio a bunch of years.
Right.
And left, during the time that radio was becoming automatized.
Right.
And roboton. And so I just was glad to be doing this TV thing. I had an anchor bob by then and a blazer. And it's like,
yeah. We all remember the...
So the transition was, good. Now I'm interviewing the people I would want to be interviewing if I was still in radio. But now I have an anchor bob, so I better like that.
I remember the anchor bob. I remember, and I hate to, when I was, let's just say I was in school, and I remember, I don't know if you're aware of this. You probably can't be aware of this, but I remember because apparently on the broadcast there was a broadcast where you explained your condition.
It's not a condition. It's the way the aliens made me. I mean, the way God made me. It's called ectrodactyly, and if you watch the Freak Show ever, you might have seen the interview with the lobster boy, and he's talking about his father being a mean old drunk.
I was on Freak Show with him, actually.
Yeah. So anyway, ectrodactyly is the lobster boy condition. So who knew it had such an ancient, wonderful history?
Was it called something else? Because when you look at old articles in the 80s, there's like another name.
It was called lobster.
Okay.
Lobster claw syndrome.
Sure, yeah,
lobster claw syndrome.
But it was like some long thing with it.
Ectrodactyly. Syndactyly is when, if you have webbed toes and webbed feet, that's syndactyly.
Right.
But if you are ectro, you're full on.
I have a question. If you have webbed toes and feet, is it beneficial?
If you're a swimmer?
If you're a swimmer?
Much more so than having these for swimming, Okay. But then again, I swam with sharks, and so now I have these.
Right. She was married with Jim Lampley, so,
That's the entertainment business.
He does chew.
I'll take your word for it.
Gnaws on an empty bone.
So, Elizabeth, you were on AMC's Freak Show.
I was. Just one episode.
Right.
What did you do?
What freak were you?
I was
the hot freak, or what?
No, I was a pallbearer for the putting normal to death. I was one of Morg's assistants. Morg is a friend of mine.
So they actually have plot lines now.
Yeah, that was the first season. It was the
most of the reality shows do.
Yeah,
I hate to let it out of the bag, but we've both been on several of them. I've written most of my own.
Reality isn't real. This is as real as it gets right here.
Yeah,
but
I probably won't get hired again after saying that. But
we've got to be careful how much detail there is about that. But
scripted reality
have to be
whatever. I don't care.
I'll chew their fucking fingers off.
Yay!
She's one crack.
Well, Bree, you're the Queen of Venice. You've lived in Venice for...
No, my dog is the Queen of Venice, or the King.
Yes.
But I'm sort of in his minion.
No, but local people in Venice have known you and accepted you for years.
What else accepted?
I
don't know.
He called my boobs flapjacks, so don't feel bad.
Damn,
okay?
It's a funny name for boobs. It's a funny name for boobs.
I moved on up.
Listen to me.
Accepted. You've been accepted for years in Venice.
But I mean, you
She's
are somebody that's out.
She's got flapjacks over here.
I'll tell you, your flapjacks have mesmerized me a couple times. There's been a couple times on the show where I've had to stop talking because you had a low-cut dress and I couldn't. How can you
that is the antidote to a bad hair day, is a low-cut blouse.
Absolutely.
Well, now that you brought it up, Josie,
draws away from the anchor bob.
We're gonna skip around a lot from what I had planned, obviously. But since you bring it up, Josie.
Well, why do you have a plan at all?
Josie, since you bring it up, I'm going to ask you a question that, according to Wikipedia, you don't like to be asked.
About what?
Bree Walker, have you had plastic surgery?
Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
You have had plastic surgery?
My boobs are fake from like when I was 20, but I'm so much older. I mean, I had
best investment ever.
Well, actually, my tits were so good. I don't even know why I did this, but I was married to a guy who really wanted fun bags, and I didn't know the difference. And it was like one of my first or second paychecks in radio.
Was this Walker or was this the?
Yes.
Okay.
No, the guy before Walker.
The guy before
my high school sweetheart. I've married my high school sweetheart in rapid succession, and then I've married two other guys that I worked with, because how else do you meet guys? So I married my radio, what they used to call A&R, artist and repertoire. Wow, that was Walker. That's my daughter's father.
Right.
And then, of course, Jim
Listen
Lampley.
to him.
That's my son's dad. So, no, I have Botox, though, as often as I want or need, and I do it both for taking away the frown lines and also because I have migraine headaches. And so I do it all the way around my head, my neck. It's awesome for that. So I do that constantly.
Look into it,
but you know,
Josie.
my titties were actually, they didn't need to be.
I have no problem saying
better.
I have.
But
your job in Botox. The best investments I've ever done in my life.
But my lips are real.
I've been getting
my
Botox
nose is real. My eyes
20s.
are real, and I haven't had a facelift yet. I probably need one, or at least a neck lift.
You're beautiful, Bree. Stop it. Of course, your breasts are just.
Well,
they're still...
are those lights looking in your eyes too, dude?
No. Are you serious? Bree Walker, you were a beautiful woman. Stop it, will you?
It's the Inquisition.
No, but the thing.
Top lighting. Elizabeth Taylor always said, bring it down light, bring it down light.
Right?
Yeah, bring your down light.
Right, but you have not had lip implants like a lot of people think.
No. If you look at my brother, you would see, actually both my brothers,
Right.
Well, we have a history.
Right.
Yes, we have a history that my parents' generation didn't like to talk about it.
Right.
But it has a history.
Right.
So I got my lips genetically, like I got my fingers and toes, or lack of.
Right.
Yeah. I guess there is a God, because God decided to give me lips instead of fingers and toes. You can almost do as much with such.
Oh, all kinds of things.
Now, Elizabeth, where did you meet this fine hunk of man sitting next to you?
I met Greg at a show when I was performing with Carrera.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was I there? I must have been there.
You were there.
It was for my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the
opening night
That
of
was
the
my
Kiddie
birthday
Club.
show.
I was on stage introducing the band, probably.
Yes,
and
you were.
And you guys see what I inspire. Look at this.
We're all one
True
big
love.
happy family.
Right. Well, you're a lucky man. So Bree, let me. Elizabeth is a singer. She's an actress. She's a model, and she's got a birthday coming up.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow's your birthday.
To you. Happy birthday to you.
Yay, Bree Walker.
Happy
Oh, that's not all.
dear Elizabeth. Happy
Bounce.
Oh, that's right. You love it. Thank you, darling.
and so many more.
But there was something else you were going to do for her birthday, weren't you, Bree?
Throw a ball. What?
That's
Bree,
it.
we need to get you up on stage and singing with the band.
Right.
We always have guest singers now.
You want to save that for the end?
Dark Mark, I take your instructions.
Elizabeth, I think Bree Walker wants to give you a little birthday spanking, if you don't mind.
I'd be
my.
honored.
Oh, my. Make sure the angle is good.
Send over Greg's lap.
Whoa,
Over
now,
Mark's.
Petey might have to take a bite of something, so let me tie him up.
Do you want me to entertain Petey?
Yeah, you might have to.
Well, while you entertain Petey,
might
why
get
don't we have
excited.
Elizabeth open the presents that I got her?
Oh, boy. What
Is she bending over for spankings or presents?
I'm getting my feet
this.
worshipped by this beautiful dog.
He's a foot locker. I mean, a foot
A little
licker.
foot worship going on there.
Nice.
He's a toe licker. That's true.
Okay. So yes, tomorrow's my
Usually
birthday.
he only likes to lick boys, but apparently you have a lot of testosterone, woman. I don't know.
It's been known to happen with me.
Were you wearing those tennis shoes again?
Oh,
He's looking at my knees. Oh, he's going.
Right.
He's getting around
Well,
today.
where have those knees been?
this
I
is
want to know. Well,
Petey.
So,
maybe we'll do that later. I don't want to
See,
interrupt
this is
the photo
another
show.
kind of fun bag here.
Yes.
yes? Yes, exactly. Thank you.
All right. Yay,
So
all
where
right.
did you
we're having
find
a birthday?
Petey?
We got some-
Petey came to me from a rescue facility in West Valley. He was about 2 years old, and I had a big stalker situation going on. And after
That's
the
how
LA,
I ended up with my pit bull.
yeah, because the
Really?
LAPD
And they're not-
can't do anything except tell you get a dog, lady. You live alone.
I was going to get a gun or a dog, and my friend said,
A dog
get
is
a dog,
safer.
please.
A dog isn't usually
You
used
don't need a
against you
gun.
in your
Right.
own hands.
Exactly. My dog couldn't have done anything to anyone. It was the poor guard dog, but hey, it looked good.
So,
Well, that's the point, is that you can walk around Venice all night long, but you got to make sure you have some protection. And he's bright white, so I don't even usually have to wear traffic stop colors. But, he's that bright white dog, and nobody messes with me. In fact, it's part of my isolation issues is that nobody messes with me. But,
I'm going to see
What
if I
kind
can
of
work around
isolation
that.
issues?
yeah,
Do you,
isolation issues. Do you? Well, you're married or boyfriend,
No, the
girlfriend.
boyfriend,
Coupled,
girlfriend.
yeah.
That's pretty recent. You can, it's fairly recent. But no, but
Or you can do radio 24/7, and then you can have a party in your mind and no one even pays attention.
well, Bree Walker. I mean, I do have to talk about it, and the fact that you brought Petey up, I have to bring it. People know you were arrested for DUI not too long
along
ago.
with half
I'm
of
the
LA,
first person
everyone I know.
to ever have that happen to.
Well, you're not the first person to ever have that happen to it, but And then your unfortunate mugshot got spread all over
Thank you,
town.
Harvey
No.
Levin at TMZ. Harvey and I used to be working together at Channel 2, KCBS here in Los Angeles. He was our legal counsel guy.
Right.
And then after he left that business, he started TMZ with his partner.
Right.
And he's become wildly successful. He was always
sure,
a good
yeah.
businessman. And of course, he, once, actually, you know how the deal works here. Everybody knows how the deal works here. So you pay off the sheriffs and the cops and, and you
Ambulance
check on them. Yeah.
chasers.
And so you have assignment people who check on that all night long. And listen, I had a really high blood alcohol level. I mean, it was not, the thing about it is, I have learned that not only does a DUI turn your life around, if you pay attention to it, and does it turn your life upside down? Absolutely.
Right.
We're
So
all shaking our
Everybody
heads.
seems to know on this. Yes, you're not the first person that's drunk. Yeah, that drank and drank.
and every year it gets tougher.
And then they give me shit for drinking Shirley Temples at clubs. Are you drinking Shirley Temples? Anyway,
you
so.
shouldn't be licking her too at the same time.
Well, especially not anymore. But I love when you do that.
Well, it could
but
be
the thing
ages.
was, when they arrested you, Petey was impounded,
Yes, he was sent to doggy jail.
I would be crushed.
and he had nothing to do. He
More
had nothing
than
to do.
anything.
Well, I was so humiliated I couldn't even call his counselor.
But I mean, obviously, those are not glamour shots, the mug shots that they do. So,
No?
yeah,
You don't like them?
Well, no, I've had them. It's horrible. But tell them the fingerprinting. The fingerprint you were telling me in the car.
Fingerprinting. Oh,
How
you
did
think
that
the
work?
mugshot is
Oh.
bad? You should see the
Do they
fingerprints.
do toes?
Oh, I offered. I was that drunk.
So what happens? What happens with Bree Walker when they come
Well,
on?
there weren't enough digits to decide which one to fingerprint, and they're getting sloppy. Like, and I'm sloppy drunk, but they're getting sloppy there at the Orange County Sheriff Department.
Now, this is
And
the first time you've been arrested, I'm assuming.
a first time for DUI.
Okay.
I have been arrested for my peace movement stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but that slapped me on the floor. I'm proud to do a deal. This one, I'm not so proud.
So they grab your hand. They're like, I don't know
Well,
what to
I
do.
slipped out of the handcuffs actually.
Right.
Because handcuffs, I have tiny wrists and,
You're a petite
and-
woman.
Yes.
Got a
Did you
little
run?
bubble.
And I didn't run. No, I actually cursed them out, and 7 squad cars pulled up because they had a hot one, and it was the El Toro Y that I missed. And I'm now in DUI school for 6 months, and it's one of the most amazing experiences because I've learned that there is no legal limit. You cannot feel protected by a .01 to a .08. You cannot feel that way, and you shouldn't have the hubris to think so. And B, never drive to the drink. Those are the 2 things I'm learning from my fabulous DUI instructor, Dennis Kenmore,
Right.
at the Alcohol Drug Project, High Gain in Santa Monica. So there's their plug.
Hi, gang. But and it's because you
High Gain. I think it's kind of
you
Hi. Yeah.
exactly. And I
That's
think
a
it's
different-
kind of yeah.
But but the thing is, the mugshot went viral, and you were back in the spotlight.
Very
You
much
and you haven't been in the spotlight in a long
No,
time.
I chose not to. The whole idea about moving to Venice was here's a place where I'm a freak and I can just go underground and no one's going to pay attention.
Right.
Until they started the show. Freaks.
Well, it's funny because that's my haunting ground, and yeah, I actually love that family before they were a
We
show.
know several people that work there.
Yeah.
I mean,
and nice of you
that's-
to bring them on the show.
Oh,
We have- well,
definitely.
why
Well,
is that on the
nice of you to
show?
call. Like you've known me 8 years and you never call.
I called, and you were glad enough to be on my first. I called you right after it happened. I called the week
We
after.
were
it happened.
on the 1st or the 2nd. This is September 11th, an auspicious night. Let's not forget.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. So we can have all this fun, but we have to remember a lot of people have died on this night or this day. And so September 11th, we need to have a lot of fun and remember that, you could get blown up.
Okay.
I like the idea of having
or have your
fun.
fingers blown off or your toes blown off. Or,
Well, see, this is the Bree Walker that I know because on 4th of July she took a picture of a close up of her hands and said, "Be careful with the fireworks." That's the woman. That's the woman I know.
you
And when-
saw that go viral, didn't you?
When we posted that you were going to be on the show, someone was really excited because of your footage that you covered for the riots.
Oh,
They were
yes.
so impressed.
cool.
They were like, "This is really great that you're."
I loved being in that era of LA broadcast because I was here for the riots and
The
I went.
OJ.
OJ, that was the end of my career, but the beginning years were definitely the riots, the fires over Malibu that took down most of Malibu. But the riots were the highlight here locally. And then I've had a chance to be in those war-torn places like Somalia and Nagorno-Karabakh and
I'm sorry, bless you. What was that?
Azerbaijan.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Armenia.
Oh, really?
No,
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've had
Well, I've been
the
to
wonderful
Glendale
privilege
too,
of
but
being.
that's
Which
Senior.
one was the most scary? And what happened?
Oh, the scarier, the more, the better for me. I'm an adrenaline
Which one was the
junkie.
scariest of all those countries?
When I was in Azerbaijan and the Armenians and our Azerbaijanis were firing at each other, they used old World War II rifles, and they actually
Backfiring.
firing at each other, and their walls were only about waist or breast high. So they were, and then they would stop at the end of the day and have their dinner, and they would stop for lunch and they'd have their dinner, and then they'd pick up their old, ARs and AKs and from Russia, and they would shoot at each other with the same vehemence.
And where were you this whole time?
Well, I was just there for about 2 weeks covering the war, which is still going on. Oh, my God.
And what about
Nobody
Somalia?
can pay attention to so many wars because it's too many wars going on.
I know.
And I was in Somalia.
And now we're going to airstrike Syria.
Yeah, well, we're a little late on that game.
Interesting timing.
I was in Turkey the year before last year, and I was in Turkmen Square, and they were having a protest, and I just stumbled upon it. It was pretty scary because they were saying "Free Syria, Free Syria." I asked them, "What are they saying? Free Syria?" Oh, I think I'll walk down a little further.
Well, and Moscow, when I was there, getting ready to fly to these places, because I went to Georgia and Armenia and Azerbaijan, all in the same 3-week period. But Moscow had all these blacklisted artists who were going to these parks on the weekend. And it was very cool because they, in spite of what they could have, these guys and gals as artists could have easily been whisked away by the, cops.
Right.
And they just did it anyway. I mean, I love that.
That's punk
Talk
rock.
about balls.
Sounds like riot pussy.
That's
Pussy riot.
Pussy riot. Riot pussy.
Yes, that's a pussy riot.
That's a riot pussy. In Russia, there's a pussy riot.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Somalia was creepy because
I
there
always do that.
You
There
always
were
do
people
something. Yes, you
actually-
always mess it up.
they were actually dying of no salvation and starvation. No salvation and starvation. And they knew it. And there would be no salvation because they would be forgotten. And so I think the hardest assignment I ever had was going to Somalia just before Black Hawk Down. I went in 92, December. And then it was March or April of 93 that Black Hawk Down occurred. And we removed all support.
And you had small children at home.
I had, yes. My son was just a year and a half, and my daughter was 4.5. But I loved that part of my job. I was the one who volunteered for everything
I
that
would too.
get me away from the anchor desk. I loved the anchor desk. I loved the pay. I loved the bob cut. I loved the makeup people.
And this was the time when you were anchoring with you soon to be your husband, the father
of my son Aaron.
Jim Lampley.
Jim Lampley.
And
who still broadcasts for HBO doing boxing.
Right. He's a terrific boxing.
I can still do 2 rounds.
No, look at that. I told you
she
she's a
has
great
guns. I asked her when she walked in.
Right.
What kind of workout she did.
But she
So Petey,
Beating up ex-husbands.
But she
can you beat up a couple of mine?
Sure.
Okay.
Bring them on.
I have 2.
but people, you were married to somebody. He was married to somebody. But apparently there was a lot of chemistry on the set. Because I've known you.
Well, we were both
San
going
Diego.
through divorce at the same time.
Right.
The chemistry happened later.
Like, were you guys like making Google eyes at each other on the that?
Well, we've been accused of that, but
and you said in interviews that things were happening under the table. Well,
yes, but I can't tell you without showing you, and you're so far away.
Josie Moss was
okay.
seats.
I know the cue. I get it.
It's okay. We only have 15 minutes, and you know how it takes me a while to.
Time
Anyway,
flies by
I'm
when you're in
telling
drunken
I'm
haze,
But you're not drunk.
No.
You're sober. You're absolutely sober. You went
Yes.
to rehab,
Yes.
and you're in recovery now.
Yes, and I'm doing DUI school, and I hang out with anonymous crazy people.
Okay. Speaking of crazy people, I just emailed Jenny a picture, and because one of the people that jumped on the DUI thing, and Elizabeth, we'll get back to you because you've got a show coming up, was the radio DJ Tom Likas.
Oh.
Who said that you were so unattractive, and if you put that picture up, this guy is disgusting looking. I don't know if you've ever seen Tom Likas.
I haven't actually seen him.
Beast.
Do you know what he looks like?
No.
Oh,
I
he
really
looks
don't.
like-
Yeah, I don't. But
he looks like the grimace from McDonald's. That's
my
what he looks like.
family
He's
has been
disgusting.
attacked by his radio show, and the whole Bree shouldn't have children because she might pass along ectrodactyly.
Oh, he is
Okay, I guess we
Like,
can't. I
that's
guess we
his
can't
problem.
use it. Yeah, can't
Is
use
that
it.
him?
So
Our
that's
guy.
him.
Oh
Look at that.
my God.
That's
He's-
a nice
looks like a
picture,
toad.
actually.
Oh,
That-
God.
that's-
Well, he has his
listen,
glasses covering
you
his
should
face.
actually
You asked me
Covered up.
if you asked me if he was. You asked me if he was. If there's a mugshot of him. That's a posed picture. That's him trying to look
Let's
cool.
make a mugshot of him.
His chin is bigger
Actually,
than the
my
rest of his head.
mugshot looks better
Look
than
at
his
look at that
back.
shit.
Chins.
This guy is
Whoa.
telling you you're
Man.
unattractive. That's
Whoa. I bet I could grow facial hair if I let it.
he doesn't,
I
he
bet I
doesn't
could
have
work
facial
out
hair.
this
That's
He
his
says that
face.
crap about everybody.
That's his face.
Whoa.
The guy's gross. And he's telling you you're unattractive. That's unbelievable.
What's unattractive
He
about
says that
this?
crap
you know
about
what?
everyone.
These fingers make every dick look big.
Very good point.
Bree Walker, you must give the best hand job in the world. Let's be honest.
Apparently, who would know?
Lampley for one. Hopefully me soon. And Greg, you want a piece of this? No,
Get in line with Howard
I
Stern,
do.
baby.
you give a hand job to
Howard Stern. No. He wanted to, though. When I first moved to New York and was doing TV,
Well,
we were, like friends from radio before. But
okay.
then I went away and did TV and came back to New York again.
Howard
and
Stern
did TV
asked you to give him a hand job.
on air, and my brother in New Jersey heard it because he was a Howard Stern listener. He went fucking nuts.
Was he married then?
Yeah, well, I was married to husband number 2, Robert
Right,
Walker,
right.
and so I didn't think anything of it, and actually, WCBS people were quite happy that Howard Stern paid any attention at all.
Right.
But he said, okay, two things that are on my bucket list way
Okay.
back then was 2 things. He wants me to do a Rubik's Cube and to give him a hand job.
At the same time,
I don't know. Is that possible even for 10 fingers?
I don't think so.
Well, and that's back then. And it's funny because a lot of people don't know. I saw you with the iPhone when we were driving out. You know how, as the
I
technology
rock it,
gets
baby.
better, I know, but as the technology gets more advanced, it's becoming harder for you.
Yes, because my fingers don't,
Everything's fingers and.
Yeah. I mean, everything you do digitally with digits require digits, and I don't have that many.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Point.
But
You know,
those are-
and if I don't mind my own manners, soon they're going to cut off the rest too.
like when I met you, I never texted you, and you're like, "Oh, go ahead, text me." I'm like, and I even think about it. I'm like, I never think about it with you. It's just that's the
Of course
thing.
not. I mean, I hope not.
Right. I mean,
not.
why would you? And the whole thing with the Likas is he apparently you sued, you filed a complaint with the FCC.
Yeah, I didn't sue anybody
You filed a complaint with the FCC because they
because KFI wouldn't give Jim and I a chance to respond to the accusation that we should never be allowed to have children, like we should have been, sterilized. And it was terrible because they hadn't even asked us, and Jim and I were, anchor people
and
in
you were
LA.
8 months pregnant.
So
I was 8 months pregnant.
anyone
so it was very
with some sort of
stressful.
disability can't do anything.
Well, that was my point. I said, what? You're going to tell me that anybody who has something different should be either euthanized or sterilized?
So
Can we have
Nazi.
this-
Such Nazi thinking.
that was my whole point.
Such
but it wasn't
Nazi
Tom
thinking.
Likas himself because he was a dickless wonder. He still is. But back then the idea was okay. We got
Well, he's got enough chins, so he doesn't need a dick.
Jane Norris filled in for him.
Okay.
And Jane she got her own radio show out of this whole controversy that summer.
Right.
And they started in June. I guess Tom
And by the way,
Likas.
now in 2014, I have no idea who the fuck that is, but
Yeah, well, she went to Tennessee and got her own radio show, and I don't know if she.
yeehaw.
But she was filling in for Tom Likas.
Right.
Like, that's a hard thing to do. Hello.
Ooh, the guy makes misogyny boring, which is really weird. That's hard to do.
He makes
You're so good
massage
at it, Mark.
boring, and
You
that's
should do
hard to do.
No, I make misogyny interesting, but but the thing is, there were. I mean, he's probably the biggest asshole that said it, but there were some people. I mean, you understand the concerns.
Actually, I love assholes, but I don't like stupid assholes.
Right, but I mean, there were some people that have concerns that about the same concerns, and if somebody actually in your position decided not to have a child, if they found out, you would support that and understand that,
Of
right?
course.
Okay.
It goes both ways. It cuts both ways.
But your
But
son,
they haven't
your
seen
son's
my feet and how talented my feet are.
I can't wait to see it. But and your son's 23 now, or?
Yeah, and my daughter's 26, and they're both doing great.
And you know, these are
not that they ever call their mom; they text sometimes.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
That's all, kids.
Well, they're just showing off. But
I pay for their phone, but they text me
I
sometimes.
bet you do. I bet you pay for more than their phone.
I pay for a lot.
Yes,
I'm not done paying. You know, they will bury me in daddy Warbucks bonds.
Right. Well, before you give Elizabeth a birthday spanking, Elizabeth, and I want to thank you and for bringing Greg too, because it's always fun to see him. It's one of these days I'll see you without him, but that's all right.
I don't know about that.
I had my chance.
Right?
I tried, but I gave it the gold college try. But you have a birthday show coming up in Hollywood.
I do on this Saturday, September 13th.
If we go to Whiskey Blue, what can we expect?
Whiskey Blue is getting a little bit of rejuvenation. He redid the stage.
Oh, okay, good.
I've been in there putting in new stage and lighting. And
It was a little too Jimmy Buffett. I don't know. It was kind of...
Yeah. Well,
That
hey.
stage was what?
It was a little
4x4?
Not to mention, I didn't have an opportunity to fall off of it, so
Yeah.
because I'd never been on it. It's about the only
easy.
reason
It's a
I
real
haven't
small
fallen
stage.
off of it.
Our bass player was standing on the ground next to it. That's how small.
Right. So we have a new stage and actually a theatrical
Thank you.
show. Yeah. So
Oh,
there's
really? So there's going to be some burlesque and some...
No, this is my return to the stage after 8 years.
Right.
And
Wow,
so
you were
glad.
away from the stage 8 years, and you're returning. And
yeah,
what is
so I'm
that
doing
like?
first live
to
show.
return?
It's been very scary
Yeah,
to
I
go
bet.
back to it.
But she's been
it's
singing.
good.
She sings a lot of the TV shows when they have a song and they have you do the song instead of the original artist.
Right.
does a lot of that.
It's catalog.
Kind of like
singing,
which
kinda
ones would I would
stuff.
hear?
A lot of it's just background on independent movies, or you have just a different.
God, how do you get that gig?
Work with Kim Fowley, and he has a catalog of 7,000 songs. And then I learned along the way that you can have those. You build your own songs. I did an album with Kim last year that has not been released, so I'll be using some of those songs coming up soon in future shows. I worked more in the studio in the past few years, and then now it's coming back to doing the stage show. So it should be really cool.
Okay, so you've got it's a whole theatrical thing. It's not just you
It
singing,
is.
It's a whole,
Well, he's a production designer.
Right.
So that is, we do work
lasers.
together. And
Can we expect
there are lasers.
Lasers, pseudo pyrotechnics.
Ah.
Because I don't want to set the place on fire.
Yeah, we've already seen how
do
that
that.
turned out so many decades
Yeah.
ago, didn't we?
Right.
Yes.
No great white stuff.
They have rules
No.
against that now.
Right,
Yes.
I'm sure they do.
It's good.
And it should be cool. It's kind of the kickoff to the Halloween season. It's the after party for Son of Monsterpalooza,
Nice.
since we've all done creepy things.
Wow.
So just kind of
That's
getting things
awesome.
going, and
Are you
it's going to
going
be
to
a
Monster-
fun.
I'm going to go Son of Monsterpalooza
He's
on
going,
Saturday.
and
Yeah.
a few of our friends.
Tell everyone.
Yeah, can we come out and
Of course.
bug you from the audience?
Yeah,
Yes, you know what? Everyone is welcome to plug me.
I'll
That would be my birthday present, right?
You gotta
Sounds like
bounce
a
after you say that,
spanking to me.
I'm going to grab Petey here. Ray, do you want to give Elizabeth a little spanking here? Come on.
It
Awesome.
would be my honor. Oh, it'd be
You
an
know,
honor to
tell me if it
take
gets too hard.
From Bree Walker.
If you could-
And she
How do
can
we do
take
this
it.
with it?
Bree,
have
spank
headphones
her
on?
hard.
Okay.
She likes it.
I like
You're gonna hear some
spanking, and I
squealing.
believe in corporal punishment exclusively given to exclusive guests.
Fantastic.
I think he'll be, I think he'll
you
be
have
okay
the
under the
doggy?
table.
Okay.
We'll try that too.
Here, I'll just come up onto the desk.
There you go.
Okay.
Where's my
How's the
whip?
camera?
Where's my whip?
I don't have the
And the camera's right in front of you.
Nice butt.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm getting a nice little bath from Petey. Come on, Bree.
Whoa.
Give it to her.
Harder.
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 Harder. Ow.
Ow.
Oh, that was good.
Awesome. Nice ass.
Thank you.
You got a beautiful. Thank you all so much.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yay.
You know,
guys-
the doctor spanked you on your ass when you were born.
That's right. We got to keep
So
reliving
it's
that.
a
Is that my problem?
fabulous
That's why I keep asking
You know,
for
it's
it.
all our problem.
Every night.
I'm telling you.
I'm just rebirthing
The
myself.
doctors had a whole hucksterism going on.
Yeah. No kidding. That's so true.
they knew what they were doing.
See, and now I'm getting my feet licked. This is awesome.
I had my.
Well,
Is that creepy?
Oh, we got 5 minutes. Bree Walker, you got to tell me about
Petey?
Petey's
Well, Petey
great.
usually will howl. Let's see if we can do this. Come on, Petey. He's my rescue.
No, but
pit
tell
bull.
us about your people that are into your feet.
Oh,
Bree Walker's got a lot of people that work with their feet. Hold
Now
on.
you know I have a pit bull.
We got
Hold on.
bestiality and
Hold on. Everybody's into feet, and Bree Walker has a foot fetish story. Come on.
I have paws for hands, and so imagine what I have for feet. So,
what do you have for feet?
Actually, they're called kind of like claws or something. I mean, I could show
Really?
them to you, but I'd have to take these boots off. But yeah, they're like pads. I don't actually have toes, so to speak. And so I kind of walk on the heels of my feet.
So what size is your foot when you go
One.
into a shoe?
You've got a size one shoe.
Yeah. And it's not made,
And I thought I had small feet because mine are 5.5. I always say I have hoofs for feet.
Yeah, there you go.
Compared to Bree, you do.
Hooves would be an extension for me. I wonder if I can go to the nail spa for that.
So, but there are guys that are.
You cannot imagine how much money I've saved on manicures and pedicures.
I'm sure. I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
But there are guys that are into your specific feet.
Oh, they're creepy. But
Tell us about them. I mean, first off, how do they know what your feet look like?
they've seen it on My Unique Family, which was this.
That's right, your reality show. Yeah,
there were 7 episodes that are still apparently on.
They're on
This
your
was the show
website.
you had?
It was just a series on the Learning Channel.
It was
Good old
Bree and her
TLC.
it was Bree and her 2 children, and how you live with your life. So you were barefoot a lot.
Well, I was actually working out, then I was actually boxing back then. So I was barefoot.
Right.
I did barefoot boxing.
Oh,
mean-
do gloves feel nice?
Oh, yeah.
So you would get a lot of fan mail
I
from the
boxed,
reality show, people that liked your feet.
Still do. And actually, anybody who has ectrodactyly seems to find me and they write me and call.
Right.
And I always call or write. I mean, it's
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's amazing because I think if you just Google ectrodactyly, there comes my face.
They must love all the things you've been able to do. I mean,
It's been a major
leaps and boundaries in the entertainment industry. It's amazing.
Not only that, you were featured on on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for how many episodes?
I don't know. A bunch.
6 episodes?
A bunch. And
I don't remember that. You were a newscaster, or you were like?
yeah, I
okay.
played myself pretty much, or
Okay.
a fake newscaster.
Hey, look what Will's doing now. That
One
kind
and
of
the
thing.
same.
Yeah.
But
Hey, it's a Carlton dance. Yeah, like.
Oh, and that was so fun. You know, those years were so fun, and the
you
business
were-
was still kind of real.
Right, and you were in Carnival.
Yeah,
You contacted the producers.
I had a mutual friendship with a writer on Carnival, and they were launching the Lobster Claw family.
Right.
So I told Tracy Torme, no, let me just write an episode for you. And it turned out that at the end of the turning it in, they said, yeah, we like it, but why don't you just audition? And we don't need the whole Lobster Claw family, because after all, I was in LA and they're all in Florida.
Right.
As we know, our freaks are. So I played Sabina, the Scorpion Queen, for the second season.
Always good to be the queen.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Who the character was the ex-wife of the guy who played the main character in season 1.
The Nick
little
Stahl?
guy.
Oh, the little guy.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy that was in Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You were his ex-wife?
Michael. Yeah.
I gotta watch that again. That was a good show.
Yeah.
I didn't catch your episodes, or else.
Well, it was a dark show. Dark.
Oh, that's why I
Yeah.
liked it. That's
right.
why I liked it. And
Did
if
you
were
work
in there,
with
It was awesome.
Did
It
you
was
work
so
with
much
Toby
fun.
Hess?
Yes.
He's a good friend of mine.
Oh, please
do you go
tell
to,
him
Do you go
hi.
to his show?
I didn't know he had one.
Who's
The
Toby
Rudy
Hess?
Castiglione show.
Oh, well, I'm gonna
Oh,
have to.
I'm
I'm
saying
gonna
it
have to get
wrong.
all the WWWs.
It's really entertaining. He has
who's Toby Hess
Toby
for
Hess.
the people in the crowd that don't know?
He played the father of one of the strippers, who was played by. Well, I mean, this is a big cast. It was Clea Duvall, and I mean, just big star-studded people. Adrienne Barbeau. You know, it was an awesome cast.
Right.
So he played the father of the stripper act.
So this
in
was a Carnival.
Mm-hmm.
He was also on Reno 911, and
Right.
he's been on he's a great character
You
actor.
know what? I'm sure he is. Where does the time go? I told you this is going to go by really fast. Is Bree Walker the coolest?
Yeah.
Bree Walker's the
As
coolest.
soon as I saw the picture with the dog, and I grew up watching Channel 2 News.
And I grew up
You
watching you
know,
in San
so-
Diego.
I watched you every morning.
And you've both grown up?
And look where we are now. We grew up with Bree Walker.
That's debatable.
If anybody wants to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you? Or do you want them to get a hold of you?
It's BreeWalker.com is still existing when you go to Google me. Yeah, it's still there. But and I'm pleased when people contact me. Yes, it's nice to not be forgotten.
And yes, and let Bree Walker know how much people love her, and they do. Everybody I talked to either had a wild crush on you or admired you or both. And I'm in the both.
Aww.
And Bree,
Me too.
Me too.
Well, and I admire and have a bad crush on Elizabeth. Elizabeth, how do people get a hold of you?
You can find me on Facebook, Elizabeth Aston. I answer my mail.
Right.
ASTON.
And if you post a picture of Elizabeth, Greg will forward it. I'm sorry, we're so out of time. Everybody have a wonderfully creepy week. Bye-bye.
Bye.